Hey guys, it's Jasma and today we're going to make a white chocolate mousse. This mousse is very delicious and silky. It could be eaten on its own and used to fill cakes. So let's get started. For the ingredients you will need 150 grams of white chocolate chips, 300 grams of milk, 3 egg yolks, 50 grams of cream cheese, 45 grams of white sugar, 250 grams of heavy cream, 3 teaspoons of gelatin powder, and 50 grams of cold water. First off, we're going to prepare the gelatin mixture for later use. I'm using gelatin powder today, so add it right into the water and give it a quick mix before it starts to thicken up. And now just set it aside. Now we're going to move on to the mousse. So in a stand mixer bowl, you could also use a hand mixer if you like to. I have a paddle attachment and I'm going to add in the cream cheese. I'm going to add in the white sugar. Then just mix on medium speed until this is nice and creamy. Now I'm going to give the bowl one more scrape. And this mixture does not have to be fluffy because we're going to cook this. So now beat this on low speed and slowly add in the milk. You don't want to add it in all at once because the cream cheese will start to form lumps. Once it becomes really runny like this, you could add in the milk a little faster. I'm just going to give the bottom of the bowl a scrape and the beater just to make sure all of the cream cheese is mixed with the milk. Now we're going to pour this into a pot. Now I'm just going to set it aside. Next we're going to beat up our egg yolks. So I have cleaned off my bowl and dried it completely, and I have a whisk attachment. I'm going to pour all 3 of the egg yolks into the bowl and beat it until it's nice and fluffy, pale in color, and has doubled in size. You can see the egg yolk has already doubled in size. It is now pale in color and it has grew thicker. So now we can move over to the stove. On a stove, put over the milk and cream mixture. Turn the heat onto medium. And we're going to add in some white chocolate chips. And now just stir this constantly until the chocolate has completely melted, the sugar has all dissolved, and this comes to a boil. I like to scrape the bottom of the pot occasionally because when the chocolate is melting, it tends to get stuck down there and you don't want it to burn. You do not want to overcook this mixture or else it's going to start to clump up and separate a little bit. Just keep stirring as you wait for it to boil. You can see it's nice and bubbly. So now we're just going to turn off the heat. We're going to pour the mixture into a measuring cup. So we could pour it into the egg yolks nice and easily without it spilling. Give the sides of the bowl a scrape. Mix that up a little more until it has cooled down slightly. Now in a bowl here I have some very hot water and I'm going to place the gelatin mixture, which is now nice and squishy, and you can see it has solidified. So we're going to place this into the hot water for it to melt. Stir it up a little bit to help it melt a little faster, and you can see it has already started to melt. You could also microwave this, but it tends to overflow really easily, so use a big bowl. The gelatin is now melted, so let's take it out. And make sure you do not get any water in it. I'm going to pour the gelatin into the mixture while the mixer is running. And the mixture should still be warm. Once the gelatin is all mixed in, I'm going to pass this mixture through a sieve to make sure there are no lumps and the mousse comes out nice and smooth. I'm going to cover it up, and I'll place the mixture into the fridge for it to chill until it is thickened up and feel like pudding. And I like to stir once in a while to make sure it stays nice and smooth, and this can take up to 30 minutes to an hour. The mixture has chilled in the fridge for around 40 minutes. It is now nice and thick, and I'll show you how it looks like in just a second. So now we're going to whip up our cream until it forms stiff peaks. And make sure you do not overbeat this cream or else it'll turn into butter. My cream has formed stiff peaks. You can see it can hold a peak all on its own. So now we're just going to clean off the beater. And we can fold that into the mixture. The white chocolate mixture has been chilling in the fridge for 40 minutes. It is now pudding-like, it's wiggly, and it's a lot thicker than before now. You can see it again looks like pudding. So now we can fold it into the cream. I'm going to take a third of the cream at first to lighten up the base. And you want to fold it in nice and gently so you don't deflate all of the cream. And that's what gives the mousse airiness. Once a third is mixed in, we could add in all of the cream. To serve the white chocolate mousse, I usually like to put it in some serving cups. You could also put it in bowls. So now I'm going to pipe it out. I have loaded it into a piping bag with a round tip. I'm just going to pipe it out so it has a nice and clean finish, but you could also just spoon it in. If the mousse is too runny to pipe, you could pop it in the fridge for it to chill for a couple of hours before you do this. Divide it evenly into the amount of cups that you have, and if you don't like how it looks, you could wiggle it around to smoothen it out, or you could use a spoon. Just use the back of the spoon to just spread it out and smooth it up a little bit. You can leave it just like that, or you could decorate it with some toppings and some sweetened whipped cream. So I have some whipped cream. I loaded it into a piping bag, and I have a small star tip on the bottom. Pipe on a little bit of whipped cream. Just a small dollop. And I'm going to place on some chocolate curls. Next, cut a strawberry in half. Place that onto the dollop of whipped cream right next to the chocolate curl. And now for some extra decoration, I have some toffee bits, which I'm going to place on a couple. And I also have some sliced almonds. Insert the sliced almonds into the cream. You can arrange them however you like. And then I like to add a little more toffee. That's how you make white chocolate mousse. This is a very silky and airy mousse that you want to chill before you eat it. You can eat it like so, or you can use it to fill cakes, which I have a video on how to do. So I'm going to be using this recipe to make my chiffon cake with white chocolate mousse filling, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye!